We've been busy, guys. Check this thing out. This is the new 85mm tri-spoke. You can see the hidden nipple design. That has a sticker that will go over that. I'll grab a caliper in a second, measure some of this for you. Here's the old 74mm tri-spoke. Very similar design because that was already super quick. I know that from multiple teams that have tested it. It's been at Silverstone for 5 years. If someone like Dan Bigham's riding that on his own personal bike, it's quick. That's not out of sponsorship. That was just him choosing it. A few other teams have already tested this. I'll be taking it to the tunnel at the South Australian Institute of Sport tunnel, December 11th and 12th. So we'll have a Princeton tri-spoke, we'll have a Cadex 4-spoke, and some other wheels. The boys have just come in. Hello, boys. How are you? Come here, Bubba. You can say hello. So these are going to be, one of the quickest front wheels on the planet. Bubba, put that down. Come on, let Dada finish his video. Come on, Bubba. These will be one of the quickest front wheels on the planet, besides a front disc, which are nigh on unrideable in any reasonable condition, except perfect indoor track, velodrome riding, or zero wind condition, or if you're an absolute beast of a cyclist like one of the Visma guys is. So it's 85mm deep. I could have gone deeper and made it more aero, but it's really, I think, the balance of speed versus straight line stability. If you hop off your handlebar, even for 10, 15 seconds, that jump from your handlebar to the bullhorns, to the base bar, is a massive loss in aero. So this wheel is designed to make sure there's enough volume of air flowing through the wheel to allow you to go through, we're talking up to probably 30 knots on this wheel and still handle well. The laminar flow across a 28mm tire is just beautiful. I don't know if you can see that. We'll see if I can get that to show, but the interface of that there is just amazing. There is no bulge from the tire to the rim. This is a 28mm tire, and it's a bigger measuring 28mm tire. I'll just grab some calipers and another wheel, one sec. So this tire, 28mm, is measuring out at, about 29.5. Sorry, let me get that there. 29.35. The rim itself coming in at 37.1, 37. You need to be that much wider to allow the air to attach and keep a laminar flow over the edge. The blades are a tiny bit thicker than my last wheel. It's about, what is it in the middle here? About 16.5 in the middle. We've cleaned up this area a little bit. It's a brand new hub. Very clean interface on the hub to the center section of the wheel. This whole area here has PMI construction in it and a lot of carbon, a lot of 0 degree carbon coming down here. So even though they're a much more aero blade, the stiffness, lateral deflection we get from this wheel is as good as a chunky wheel like this one here. You can see the difference in the blades. It's night and day. The whole benefit of a tri-spoke is keeping those blades small and keeping as much airflow as you can through here while having stiff structure. And we've achieved that. There's almost as much airflow through these 3 holes as there are through those 4 holes, but the rim depth is almost half the depth of my 85 here. So obviously, we're going to test this in the tunnel, so you'll see. I don't have to say obviously, we'll just test it and give you the exact numbers of it. But you can see the design of that blade there. It's a camtail blade. It's a very chunky blade. You can see the hub protrusion out of here and here. And then you have a look at this here. This is a very stiff axle setup. You're not getting deflection through the axle, and we thin this out via the use of a lot more material right here and 0 degree carbon down there. So we're not getting the deflection out of the wheel. The deeper it is also, the stiffer the wheel gets. So you're helped by the extra material here going up 10 mil or 11 mil from the old 74 to the 85. The old 74 was made for a 25 mil tire. We're going to test that in the tunnel as well. We're both 25, 28, and that is still super quick. This won't be much different to this with a 25. What it'll be is the jump to a 28 or a 30 will be where this starts to shine. So you can see the rear 4-spoke here. This is a rear wheel. That's the free hub body on there. I don't make solid rear spoke wheels. I don't believe in them. They're too heavy. The benefit's not there. The rear wheel doesn't do enough aero work. You're much better going straight to a disc. This is my disc here. You can see there's no hub in this. We've already started cutting this. I stopped. I'm going to be cutting this up for you live so you can see it. The reason that is I really want to show off the construction inside here because it is a thing of beauty. Inside here there are 6 stringers inside the wheel. See the stops here? That's stopping on a stringer line here, 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 here. So the stiffness of this is amazing. Stiffness to weight ratio is so good for this disc. This also stiffens it up around here and kicks a bit of air off to clean this really negative part of any disc where the derailleur has to go. So you can see the width of this thing as well. It's wide. We're not even all the way down there, and she's 37, and it goes wider past that section there, probably 38. You need to be that wide to create a trailing edge. All a disc has to do, it's got one job, be a trailing edge to let the air come off the disc around the tire and be a thin wake. If this tire balloons out and the wake kicks off at all in any way, shape or form, that's where the disc starts to lose its effectiveness. So this disc here, especially on this side, the bad side, this kicks up a lot more than this side does. This side has no problem with a laminar flow off the end. This side has a lot with this bad area here. So you can see it really kicks up here to grab that bit of air and to bend it around and get a coanda effect off that little section there. So then the tire can not interfere with the exit flow over the disc. That's its sole job. They're not rocket science. It's how they need to be these days with bigger tires. And we've made, I think, one of the best discs. I mean, it's been at Silverstone now for almost a year. And a lot of teams have really shown some attention to that wheel. One of the top other wheel brands, big aerodynamicist in the UK, bought one off me. It's actually on his site at the moment. You can look that up independently and work out who that is. But for him to buy that wheel off me to test it is a big deal. So yeah, we've got some really cool wheels to test at the wind tunnel, December 11th and 12th. Chris and Jesse from the Nero Show will both be there as independent verifiers. The test will not be massaged. The test will not have weightings to benefit me, blah, blah, blah. I've got the full aerodynamic report on my existing, the test we did, what was that, June? So 4 or 5 months ago. You can look that up on the website. It's under the tech tab. Just click on that. The whole report is there, the raw report. John Pittman was like, why are you giving away your raw report? I'm like, mate, I'm not hiding it from my competitors. Why would I not show my clients that report, and why would I not give them that? He was amazed because he hasn't seen another company give away the raw report. They always give away a line graph of what they deem to be the best positioning of that particular wheel. I get it. That's why wind tunnel tests have a bit of a dirty name. I want to make sure that this is independently verified, raw data access for you, and it's a freaking cool report. I paid a lot of money. That's a proper engineering report. That report alone was an extra three and a bit grand just for the report on top of the wind tunnel. So John Pittman is a very, what would you call it, well-known person in the industry. He cares about his reputation. He is not going to give me skewed data to make it look good. He cares about his tunnel and his reputation, not doing something, a favour to someone. So it's the Cycling Australia wind tunnel. So that's lucky to be able to go there. It's a very precise tunnel. It's only 1.5 years, 2 years old. It's a great measuring tool. So these are some of the wheels. We'll also have the Princeton big deep tri-spoke, similar depth to that. I'll have my new 107mm rim, hopefully. The mold's finished, all the tool making's done. My new 75mm, my new 55mm, my new 65mm. So yeah, five new molds in the past 6 months. That's a lot of work, guys, and we're gonna have them there. So it's gonna be a cool test, and I'm gonna get as many high-end wheels to compare them against as I can. So yeah, keep your eye on it. It's gonna be it's gonna be entertaining. One last thing, this is the 3D printed section as part of the development for this wheel before the mold was cut. We changed it in a couple of areas, especially around the awesome hollowed out valve section. So effectively you put the valve in, you can pull it up if you have a short valve, about 40mm, and put a pump on it without using an adapter. And then the valve totally hides and you put a cover over the top. It also reduces the weight here of the valve stem, which is cool. So the offset balance weight we put in the rim doesn't have to be as high. So reducing rotational mass in that critical outer area of the wheel, much more aerodynamic. We're talking 1 to 2 watts for a valve hanging out of a tri-spoke like this, which is a big difference because it just kills that airflow in that fast spinning area and sheds some vortices and just boring stuff, which doesn't help the laminar flow around it. So yeah, have a little look-see so you can really see the profile of this. 85mm deep, 37 and a bit wide. Very nice blade, beautiful interface up to the rim. Very thin midsection here, but a lot of material. This is all a PMI foam core here with a huge amount of carbon and a lot of carbon through this section in 0 degree orientation. 0 degree carbon is amazing for flex. So if you have carbon even at 45, let alone this direction, that would flex a lot. Whereas when it's at 0, it doesn't want to flex. So that's how we keep the lateral deflection of the wheel down, but keep the aerodynamics as good as they can possibly be. It is directional on the blade. It's fat here to thin there. So the wheel does rotate that way. So yeah, that's a little bit of background there. Not a cheap mold, not a cheap bladder. That's just one of the prototype bladders there for the wheel. They all have to be custom made per wheel. And yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, that is gonna be one of the quickest wheels on the planet. We're gonna have some top end ones to test against, and yeah, you'll see in a couple of weeks. Cheers, guys.